Guys, I can't do it anymore.
Family,
Jamaicans are crying for the suffer. In fact, I don't know if they are suffering, but they are crying right now in Canada. Canadians, this is for you. What is going on in Canada that these people are crying? What is going on? I want to know. This is a direct message to Canadians. What is going on? I'm not saying you are totally at fault because Jamaicans also, I have called your name. Come forward. Why are you guys? What is going on? Let's just continue watching this. Guys, in today's episode, you will see these videos of Jamaicans telling us, I don't know if we should believe. I know what is in your mind, that they should go back to their country. But guess what? They are there for greener pastures. They are there to better their life. But to better your life, you are crying that you are suffering. Canadians, what is going on? I'm not blaming you, but just tell me what's going on. Please, if you are new to my channel, don't mind. That's what we do here. We react to these videos. I'm so dramatic. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please. It's a plea from me to you. And please turn on your notifications and tell me your thoughts in the comment section. What you think? I know, even if you are not a Canadian, you're not a Jamaican, tell me in the comment section. You have once been to Canada. What was your experience there? Because I don't want to believe one side. I want to hear from both parties. If you're a Canadian, tell me. If you're also a Jamaican and you have gone there, you are back, I want to know. What's happening? Let's just continue this. I'll be back for more commentary.
like Canada, if you're not strong, depression alone kill you. The cold time alone make you depressed because you have cold month than warm time. See? Your job alone make you depressed. Yo, if you're them party, you don't have a strong family base or a strong friends or a strong community around you, you're depressed.
Nobody talks about how depressing foreign is. And I'm not going to.
Good morning, good morning. Mr. Cities calling all my Jamaicans and foreigner. Listen to me. It's not easier foreign. Member needs tell you this, yeah? It's not easy. You see, if you're not Jamaica with the beautiful sunshine and river and natural fruits and all these things, you to stay there and try and make something on yourself. Yes, come here and visit. Me not stop nobody from come out foreign, but listen to me, it's not this cold place. You see, if you're not work, dog near me a supper. Nobody not there to help you. Listen to me. And even with job, when we have a job, you see when you work, you go straight back on bills. You understand me? So you see when you call and we can't send a little thing, it's not that we don't want to send it. We have bills to pay. Them bills from council tax to rental, light to gas to water. Me say we can't stop with the bills them. And on top of them tax up and tax on the paycheck. Listen to me. We hardly have anything to squeeze. You see them when they want to see a party up and party up. Don't get me wrong, them is a party if you probably just release the stress after them pay them bills and everything. Trust me. Because the money is not there. And worse, the cost of living coming, yo. It's not easy. Even with education, you get a job. It's not easy, and it's not that easy if you get a job either. Because you go to interview upon interview. If the people them not like you not get the work. You not get the work. Member needs to tell you that. You hear that? So if you're in the Caribbean, which part of the day with nice sunshine, whatever, yes, it might be a little boat house, whatever, but I miss my little boat house. When I can go a river, get up and cook some food out the door. Yes, sir. You not have no food, you not eat. No money if you buy food, you can't eat. You can't go trust nothing. The people them shop. The foreign land not easy. Member needs telling you this. You hear that? Trust me. I always dream for just work and go back because obviously my mother sent for me. You understand what I say? Because she had to seek a better life. Education, me do my flight attendant, everything. But me get sick. You understand me? After that I be a backline. Yo, remember me tell you. Luckily me have my girl with brain. You understand what I say? Trust me, that place is not easy. You know, this cold land, foreign land is not easy, my people. Remember me telling you that. I see my father back home and I tell him, I just make sure him okay. You understand me? Even though I can't eat sometimes, I make sure him okay. Because I say, me nah make him come struggle like me. You must say mad. My father can't come struggle. But my son, me make sure him have everything him have. Want him have everything me have. We scrape, we left back, me just scrape for myself. But anybody can relate to this, so the foreigner not easy. Anybody can say it easy, whatever. To Uno, good luck to Uno. Glad for Uno. But for me, and most people, it not easy. So. You hear that?
I am not going to speak for anybody else. I'm going to speak for me. Personally, there's nothing in Canada to miss. When we were growing up, we were cultured that foreign is greener pasture and America, Canada and England are greener pastures and everybody wanting to go. And that is one of the biggest lie that could ever endow on the Caribbean people. Caribbean people rich in love, in help, in kindness, in being your brother's keeper. That is not in first world country. What happened is that they trick us, tell us to go to America to work because of green pasture. And they build up these expensive houses and charge us 250,000 Jamaican dollars, which is 2,000 odd Canadian dollars for rent. And then we have to pay those big rents, and those persons move to the Caribbean, buy houses at the waterfront, and have us maintaining their lifestyle. So they come to the Caribbean, they open up businesses, they buy out the hotels, and all of them are in the Caribbean running wholesales, running hotels, running restaurants, whilst we are the slaves in their country to help them to make their dream come true. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistakes that I could have ever made. It not only damaged my physical health, but I was very close to getting mental health. I am not talking about anybody else. I am talking about me. The best place to live is Jamaica. Is the Caribbean. Is to identify with your people. Is to speak the same language. If you want little water, you get little water. You can get a piece of breadfruit. You can get 2 tomatoes. If you're sick, you can call your neighbor. There's nobody in Canada to help you. The only thing that Canada have is snow, taxes, and high rent. And silent racism. So no, to answer your question, me forgot to me not answer your question. No, me not miss Canada because there's nothing in Canada to miss. Going to Canada was one of the biggest mistake that I have ever made, and it cost me.
Welcome back to this channel once again. So if you are planning to move to Canada, don't make that decision until you've watched this video. Because what many immigrants say after they arrive is completely different from what they expected before they left. So let's subscribe and watch until the end, and then I'll come back with my comments.
Yo, you see if you can check for your friend and family here in Canada, please do it. They maybe not telling you, but I'm telling you the truth. A lot of people here in Canada I go through real depression. Like when I say real depression, I'm talking about real depression. People are depressed. And it's not just from financial hardship. You know, people feel isolated. Them just feel alone. And sometimes them probably would want somebody to take up a phone and call them and check on them. May I tell you, like honestly, and a lot of people we know in Canada right now pack up and leave Canada. Not because them don't have no paper or immigration I look for them. Them have papers, like some of them have PR and some of them have work permit and stuff like that. And them leave. Me have a friend me call it other day. Me and say, yo, I go and me go link up. And she has said me leave. Canada too stressful. And she had a job. And me say, yo, where money there? She said money gone back to Jamaica. I'm asked her for one next friend. She said she gone back to Jamaica too. They were working and everything, but they were them just depressed. Canada depressing bad. And them pack up and leave. And me have other friends over here too. I say, yo, them can't bother Canada right now. Them a leave Canada. You understand? Besides the financial hardship, because Canada is really going through a recession right now. But that's not the only thing we are contribute to the depression that people are go through. People just feel isolated. Them just feel like them in one prison. It's just from work to home. There's no social life. There's no family where you can go sit down and talk with and, you know, release some of your stress and problem you have on your brain. Yeah, you understand? People, that's why I say people in Jamaica, they may be broken about at least them have a couple people around them but they can talk to and whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you don't have that. You don't have nobody where you can go sit down and talk with or reason with or if you don't have nobody else at all, it's even worse. Some people not nobody. They're not a friend. They're not a family. They're not nothing. So you know, say it's worse than them. Yeah, man. And besides that, besides the isolation, you have what we call the financial hardship. A whole heap of people are go through right now. So if you have no money and you can send to people in Canada, your friend and family, you can send it to it. Because it's hard right now. It's very hard. Interest rate high, inflation rate high, everything is high. When you got the supermarket with $500, I remember when we just come to Canada, we could have got a Costco with $500 and that stack yours for 2 weeks. Stack up. No, if you ever try that right now, they run you out with two little bag. Can't even hold, not two bag, $500. Things expensive, like really expensive. Remember when me I earned $16 hour, me I throw 3 and a partner, 4 and a partner. And now, me have to cut it down. Yeah, it's hard right now. Things expensive. Really expensive. Something I wonder where money disappear gone. I swear, you know.
In Canada, and I want to give you some of my experience as to what led to me moving back home. So, when you move there, you realize that taxes and credit score plays a big role in their society. And if you don't have a good credit score, it can affect you getting an apartment. It can affect you getting a lot of stuff. So when we were apartment hunting, we realized that you had to, one, apply for these apartments, and then you have to put credit scores. And at that point, we had to leave that blank because, you know, we were just moving from the Bahamas, so we didn't have credit scores. Well, the apartment that we finally settled on after going to like 3 or 4 apartment tours, we applied, and the landlord, she was very transparent with us, and she let us know that, hey, I have other people that are applying for this apartment who have better credit scores than you guys, but it's just something about y'all that I love. And with that, she gave us the apartment. Now, when we got into all of the expenses that came along with the apartment, we had to pay, because we didn't have credit score, we had to prove that we can afford this apartment. So we had to pay 4 months of rent in advance on top of the security deposit and the last month's rent. So all of that totaled to like $10K. Then the area that we lived in, we realized that we needed a car. So that was another $7K. And like I said, we was prepared going there. So we had the money on hand. But you start living in the system, you realize once you're going into the grocery stores or whatever store you're going into, that's another set of taxes. Then it's a whole other, a lot of other bills that comes along with living in those countries. So you will have to have money on hand for that. And if you're just moving, obviously, you have to find a job. So once you get into the working system, I realized that the amount of taxes that come out of Canadians' pay is insane. The job that I was working on paid $3,000 a month. By the time as you get your pay, $800 had already come out of the pay. And that's just income tax. That isn't you paying for your insurance and other expenses like gas and stuff that comes along with living, you know what I mean? So a lot of it is it's a very expensive country to live in. Yes, it probably will provide opportunities, but you're going to have to pay to live there, like a lot of money. And after living there for a while, you realize the culture shock really hits home when you, for months, your family is the only family, if you moved with a family, that you're seeing for months on end. You're not seeing anyone that's your skin color, because it's predominantly a more white country, especially depending on where you move. And we lived in the Niagara area. Maybe if we had moved to Toronto, it might have been a different experience, or somewhere else. I don't know, but I only can go off of my experience. And to live in those bigger cities is way more expensive than where we was living, and where we lived was already expensive. And after when you first move there, it's great, especially if you move in the summertime. It's great, the weather's great, and then the weather change happens, and you get down into October where it starts to snow. And man, when I tell you, that is very taxing on the body and the mental. You will come outside and you're just grateful that the sun is out, because you gone weeks without seeing the sun. Mind you, it's still freezing, but you're seeing the sun. Like it affects you a lot. Winter blues is a serious thing over there, and you can become depressed. And a lot of that played a role in my decision to move back home. Then we started to think, okay, if we're gonna make over here our home, we want to get a home. When we started looking at the cost of homes over there, just a 2-bedroom house in the area that we were looking at was like $500K plus. At that point, you're becoming a slave to mortgage. You'll be paying that mortgage until probably the day you die, because it's so expensive depending on your job. And all of that, we compared living there and living in the Bahamas, in which when we left, our jobs weren't that bad. Our lives in the Bahamas wasn't that bad. So for us, it wasn't a hard decision to say, okay, well, we probably could move back home where we would have a better quality of life. So for some people, it might be different. Your experience, that's why I keep saying I'm only giving it off of my experience and based off of my life. I cannot speak for anyone else. Someone else might be in Canada living the best life compared to what they lived in the Bahamas, in which it works for people like that. But for me, where life wasn't that bad, it wasn't that hard of a decision to say, hey, I'd rather come home and continue my life home, which that worked for me. My daughter, she lived in Canada with us while we were there. She loved it. She wants to go back to college, and I don't mind her going back there, because like I say, for a single person, maybe it's a different experience. Especially someone who's young going off to college, it might be different. But you have even persons who were living over there during our time and they were in college and they moved back home too. So, everyone's experience is just different. And all I tell you is, if you're going to move there, save, be prepared for the culture shock. Be prepared to hit speed bumps and know that it's not going to be easy all the time. Even as simple as us getting our driver's license, it was hard. You have to do your research with everything. Think about your life. Think about everything in your life that makes life worth living for you, and do your research on it. You want to get a car, do your research on it. Driver's license, do your research. Apartment hunting, you have to do your research. Even in terms of the area that you live in, might affect the amount of jobs that are available, because the area that we was is a small amount of people, and because of that, the job availability wasn't the moving to Canada and then moving back to the Bahamas. It honestly gave my husband and myself a newfound appreciation for the Bahamas, because you realize that life back home isn't as bad as you think it is. But sometimes you have to move in order to realize that. And for us, we was able to get our scratch our itch and go over there, live for a little while, and then come back home. And life home is great for us. Like, we were able to move back home, get our home. We're now, we have a kid, another child, and it's not as bad as we thought it would have been. So, like I say, everyone's life is different. Everyone's experiences are different, and you just have to experience certain things for yourself. But I'm just giving it based off of what I experienced.
Hey, my beautiful people. Yeah, I'm back home. I am home in Jamaica. What an experience. What an experience for me in Canada. I have so many stories. I have so many stories to give. I really and truly like Canada. Differently from the cold, I really like Canada. But coming back to Jamaica, I must say, we as Jamaican who have people living in Canada, We must not take them for granted. You know? We must not take them for granted. They are going through a lot. And a lot is going through them. Because you see, even though it is snowing and I'm driving on the road, and when you're driving on the road, I see people going to work. You know they are going to work. They have the lunch kit in their hand, and they have them little bag. You just know they are going to work. As much as they're in their clothes and all of that, you can see them going to work. Sometimes when I am on the road and like we stop, I know my Jamaican people them, and they're either going to work or they're coming from work. And I'm just looking at them and I said, you know, when you don't know what people have to go through to make life, to make a living, it's best for you to shut up. It's best for you not to say anything. And it's when somebody can leave Jamaica because we're privileged, you know. We Jamaican people, we feel like we're privileged, like people owe us something. And you see, when we get up and go out, and people get up and go to Canada and say they go work, it's work them go. It's not like Jamaica, you got work and you delay that or work them go. And if they don't go to work, we must appreciate them. I have so many stories, so many stories.
Yeah, I must say this, man, to all the Jamaicans that's living in Canada right now. How are you guys doing? How are you guys surviving this place? If you don't notice nothing, like your bills the same, the groceries the same, the mortgage is the same, the house price is the same, you love the weather, then this video is not for you. Just scroll past. But for the other Jamaicans, I must say this, man, how are you guys doing? Because this place is very draining, very depressing, very mindful. So every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't think I can do 2 more years in this country. I don't think I can do 2 more years here. Like, this place is very draining. And with the immigration, it just make it 20 times worse. 20 times worse. So I'm thinking every day, man, where am I going? When am I going? Is it gone? Is it Jamaica? Tell me in the comment if I'm going crazy, but this place is draining.
On Mother's Day, I stood right here, and in my realest, rawest truth, I appealed to at least one person. I was thinking that maybe one person would identify with me, and it's absolutely incredible what you viewers have done in sharing my videos and connecting with me in a way that I never expected. And I want to say this has nothing to do with race, because across the board, regardless of your racial background, you understand the story of what it's like to live in Canada and to put in your best years and your best effort only to feel like a bum. And it is bringing a type of awareness to not just myself but to other people. My friend passed away, and when he died, I went inside. It's that introspection that allowed me to come out and speak the way I did, and making me question the whole idea of success, the whole idea of running yourself into debt and bankruptcy to have what people call a successful life. And it's this that I think people around the world is connecting to, always putting in work. Listen, I hold 3 degrees. I never stopped trying, and I've had to try over many times. I've lived into shelters, yes, and I never gave up, and I never felt sorry, and I kept going. But when you get to the point where you keep going, and the basic thing like shelter and food you can't afford, remember, people who may not have any education, you might say, well, that's the reason why they're going through this. We are told that if you work hard, it will pay off. So for the individuals who are saying, don't put your basket where you cannot reach it, you don't know my story. To the people who know what it's like to say, because I have ambition, it's okay. We were told that, to say work hard and you will achieve greatness. And we were told that education is the key to success. And when we do that, we're expecting not to put her basket where we cannot reach it, because I am not into luxury item. I'm not buying anything that I can't afford. And I have been on YouTube for over 11 years, and people over there know that I keep it real. When I ran into problems and I was starting to have financial problems, I spoke honestly and openly. I might not have said everything, but I spoke the truth. And the reason why it's connecting with so many people is because it's a truth that Canada is not the same place. And we do understand changes occur. For me as a black woman, and this is not a racial thing, but I'm saying over the years working in business, working in corporate Canada, I was always the one to get let go first. And I always had to start over when there was a recession. So I started out working at, an accounting firm. I was not an accountant, but I was working at an accounting firm. And I've worked in insurance companies, and every time there's a recession, I lose my job. I worked in agencies for years. And when I decided to become a teacher, I think, okay, that's a natural path for me because I love kids. And in every job I've ever had, if anyone chooses to go back and look at my history, I'm always there early, 2-3 hours before I have to be. I travel from Brampton to work with the Toronto board. I never made any excuses. I know what it's like to get to the point after giving birth to being in a wheelchair and thinking it's over, and not allow my mind to accept that. I'm not a person who surrender. I'm not a person who likes to just complain. But someone has to talk about it. And some people are afraid to say anything, and I'm not. Sometimes when your back is against the wall and you have nothing else to lose, this is when you say, okay, I'm going to just speak my truth. So many questions are asked, and so I cannot do it in one video, but I'm going to ask you to do something. For those of you who want to start that GoFundMe for me, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to start a GoFundMe for me because you're going through it too. I have a platform, so go over on my YouTube, and it's linked in my TikTok. Go over on my YouTube, watch the video again, press your like, share it, and do the thing that you do to get us here. If they pay on that platform, I'll get paid. Okay? Now, I've been doing this, as I said, over 11 years, and I can count the times that I've gotten a check, because usually people are not interested when you're speaking your truth. People, you have to be in the drama, and I've had to do some drama too, just to get some, attention. But I'm not about that life. I don't want to be about that life. I want to speak the truth about what I feel and experience, and other people can identify with. And so for 7 years, I could not take a vacation. For 7 years, I buckled down and did what I needed to do to secure a home, because I got tired. I moved 8 times in 5 years, renting and never owing my landlord, but always here, you have to go, we need our place. And so that's how I came to buy a house. And people say, why would you borrow money to buy a house? How was I supposed to get something for myself? You think you can work in Canada to save money to buy a house? That doesn't make any sense. You can save a down payment if you're disciplined. Okay? What I want to say now too is that right now shelters are full. When you were in a domestic situation, you could pick up the phone and they would send a taxi for you and bring you. Now people are running for their lives, women, and they have nowhere to go. So what do you think is happening? I had locks all the way down past my bum, and I am wearing wigs in case you want to look at the wigs and make fun of it. And that was a part of my stress. I lost my hair. The stress took a toll on my body. And people say, oh, eat right, and they give you the Canada Food Guide. And how are you going to eat right when you can't even afford bread? How are you going to do that? How can someone like myself who is diabetic eat right when I cannot afford food? Because there are times when I get paid and I waited for the next paycheck to come so I can pay my mortgage. Someone says, put aside $10 of how? Where? So after not taking a vacation for 7 years, I said, and I took an oath, that if I cannot go home this January that passed for my birthday, then what's the point of living? And so I went. And of course, when I come back, I had to face the penalty of going. And I do not feel bad. I had to do that to preserve myself, my mental health. Okay? And I have some notes here, you know, the whole idea of stress and how it goes into your body and make you sick. And there are people, even in the situation where women are looking for shelter to escape, some of those men, I'm not excusing their behavior, but some of those men have lost it because of the stress that they're under as well. Take it out on their families. It's not a good thing, but we're human beings, and some of us crack under the weight, under the pressure. So it's not like we put our basket where we cannot reach it. The basket has holes. Now, when I moved from Brampton 2.5 years ago, I did so because I was living in a home and I first paid $2,400 a month, and it moved from $2,400 a month to $4,000 a month. And it was a very small place. In fact, when we bought it, it was a dump. That's to show you how much I don't put my basket where I cannot reach it. It was a dump. I literally scorned stepping in the tub, and I stayed there and slowly made it habitable. But when the mortgage went up like that, it was not worth it for me, and so we decided to sell and find something. And when we found this, my partner and my daughter and myself lived together, and we could afford it. But when he lost his job, that's a whole other story. You lose your job, you lose your health, and that's when the chips fall. And this place is a very unforgiving place. So even if you're perfect, if you go to the work and you perform like a worker bee and you make a mistake, they have no problem walking you through the door. None of what you did before counts. You cannot make a mistake. You have to be perfect. You have to be a perfect robot in this space. I'm going to end it here, and I will come back to give you more details. Stay blessed. Go over to my YouTube channel.
They say there's depression, there are situations. What are you depressed about? Do you miss your family? I want to know. Please, if you have been to Canada, once, you have experienced this, I'm open to hear. I'll sympathize with you. Tell me in the comment section. What happened? What is going on? Mm-hmm. Please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please, please. It means a lot to me. Don't forget. Thank you for watching this episode with me. I am called React S. I'll see you in my next episode.